Hey everybody. I really wanted to apologize really quick for the huge gap in videos recently. It's been like 2 weeks since I've been able to put out a video, ish. But actually it's because I moved to college. I know I've talked about it in a couple other videos, but I moved to college and then some stuff started going on with my friends and my health and my dog's health and just everything kind of piled up. We're moving, like my home, not my college situation, but we officially finished moving this past weekend, and my parents are now sleeping in the new house, and it's really weird. And I have to figure out what I'm gonna do for Arlo and I and stuff like that, so that's kind of crazy. It's just been a lot going on. So again, really sorry about the weird spot in uploads. Hopefully that will get better pretty soon. For now, I wanted to start this second part. It's been a while. There's a lot of things that I need to cover in this part. And more things happened and I had to wait for the dust to settle there, so it's just a lot of... When you're covering a story that is basically still happening, the thing that you run into is that things will happen as you're like, okay, I started this part already once, and then a bunch more stuff happened and like came out that made everything in my previously filmed part like debunked. So I had to delete that video and restart, and it's just been a lot. I'm also trying to get monetized, so I was putting out a couple videos that I thought would do well. I'm still kind of testing out this YouTube thing, figuring out, you know, what's gonna work the best. And so far, I'm still confused. As of like right now, I have 1,931 watch hours in the past 12 months and 257 subscribers. I need to get up to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in the last 12 months to be able to get reviewed for monetization. So I'm still kind of trying to figure out what people want from me on this channel, I guess. So, but apart from that, this part is just going to be basically a part 2. So I'm not going to be talking to Danielle, I'm not going to be talking to anybody, it's not going to be another anonymous person. It's just the next part in the timeline. So, yeah. So we left off with Danielle being in the paranormal community with B-Town Paranormal, and her going to like her grandfather's grave and on his birthday and using the Ouija board and stuff like that. So that's where we left off. If you missed my part 1 of this video or any other videos in this series, you should go watch them. They are all in a single playlist. I will link that playlist in this description, so you guys can just watch that before you come and watch this, because everything else that has happened is relevant information for this video. So without further ado, let's get into the timeline. So just getting right into it here, after Danielle had some issues with B-Town Paranormal, she had been in her relationship with Ashlyn for quite a while, and Ashlyn was having a little bit of a confusion with her sexuality, and she thought that maybe she might be straight and not like other women. And she basically told Danielle this, and she said, you know, I think maybe we need to break up. I think maybe we need to not be together anymore because I think I might be into women. So Danielle immediately panicked, because from what I know about her, she holds very, very strongly to her relationships, and things like that changing are not something that she handles well. So she didn't want that to change, so she decided instead of just letting Ashlyn go and explore her sexuality a little bit, she was going to be transgender herself. And I do say decide, like a decision, because this is not something that Danielle was born with. This is something that she did decide to do at the time, for the ability to stay in her relationship with Ashlyn. she has always been more of a tomboy type of girl, but she has never really questioned like her being a female and like the fact that she is a lesbian and the fact that she is a woman. So to me, at the time, I believed her because I am not somebody who questions that sort of thing. So when we were talking and she came out to me at the time, I believed her and I just took her at her word, and I was like, okay, then I support you, whatever. You know, I didn't know her too well, but at the time she seemed very sincere. So Danielle started wearing a wig and calling herself Dean, and was upset that she couldn't get a surgery to make her body correct. I no longer have access to this video. I believe she did remove it, but at the time, that was a video that was up on her channel, is her coming out, her wearing this wig. She was in the woods near the back of her property, and she was telling her viewers that she was transgender and that she would prefer to be called Dean, and that her family isn't supportive of her in this transition, and that she can never get surgery because of the fact that she has all these other physical illnesses that prevent her from having this sort of masculinizing surgery. Now, I will admit I am not 100% sure what made Danielle decide that she wasn't transgender anymore. I am not sure what helped her decide that. However, I do know that at some point she did switch back to saying that she was a female and that she was just lesbian, and she was back in the lesbian LGBT community, like really amping that up again, and being involved in the Therian community as well, making a video showing off her tails and her mask and her collars, and saying that she was a wolf Therian and that Lakota and Ashlyn were a part of her pack. After she had made her return to the Therian community, she went back to using Lakota as her service wolf. She realized that she really couldn't function without her, and her and I actually decided on the term service wolf together because it isn't illegal for her to use that word or that term, since wolves can't like legally be service animals. So what the words she can't use are service dog and service animal, and assistance dog and assistance animal. So basically service wolf was the thing that we decided was the safest, and that is when she put out her tasking video. Sadly, this video was deleted off of her channel recently, and I can't seem to find it anywhere else. If you know where this video is, please send it to me so that I can post it on my channel so that people can see it, along with all my other commentary videos on this situation. Basically, at this point, that video is gone, but what it showed was the different tasks, supposedly in air quotes, that Lakota could do. The different things that Danielle did to help her with Lakota. So basically what this included was deep pressure therapy. So similar to the use of a weighted blanket, she just put the wolf on top of her. She used it for blocking people in the front and in the back. And she also used Lakota to keep people away from her side where she is blind. She is blind in one eye, so that's what she used Lakota for on that side. And she would have her quote-unquote heal on that side in order to keep people away from that area. And she would also use Lakota as like a pillow during her seizures. So those were the things that she said were Lakota's tasks in that video. And to me, this next part is where it gets interesting. This is when Ashlyn moved in. So all of the vlogs of them going out together to Walmart or to wherever started. Her audience watched a ton of people approach her in the vlogs to ask about Lakota. Danielle filmed these people, including children. I'm not sure if this was with or without the children or parents' knowledge, but in most of the videos, when I checked, it does show her asking if they would like to be on camera and if they're okay with it going on YouTube. Some of them it cuts right around the time that when she walks up to the people or when the people walked up to her, so it's hard to tell if she cut that part out or not. When I did ask her how she dealt with people walking up to her, she did tell me that she always asked if she could film the people, and whenever she went up to children, the parents were right there, or their guardian was right there. She always asked the guardians if she could take pictures and stuff like that. So to me, I think she covered her bases, but I guess it's kind of up to interpretation. So I don't really have any pictures from this period because basically she never actually did this, but she had been talking about doing taxidermy. So basically she was going to buy pelts from animals who died, and like in any way, I guess she wasn't really like discriminating against animals, really. She was talking about maybe like killing this fox in her yard, which obviously made everybody nervous. She had posted videos of that, of the fox. And basically she talked about doing taxidermy herself and, you know, giving people these animals that helped her. So like she wanted to make, you know, basically quote unquote service wolves for other people. So like more Lakotas basically, and then make them for people who needed a service dog like herself but couldn't get one for whatever reason. And obviously that didn't work out. First of all, running a business is really difficult. And second of all, she can't really ingest all of those chemicals. So if you don't know taxidermy involves tons and tons of chemicals. And Danielle already has a weak immune system, so she cannot handle that many chemicals in her system all at once, and it wouldn't be able to handle it. So that is why she could not do that. Then Danielle posted this photo of herself with a black German Shepherd puppy. This puppy was not hers. This puppy was not a rescue. This puppy was not adoptable. It belonged to somebody, and she met this person in a pet store. This person was looking for food or whatever for their dog. She asked if she could hold it and get a picture because her dream breed has always been a black German Shepherd. So, I guess a couple of the things she said in the caption of this post, which I don't have, were quite rude towards a few other teams. I'm not sure exactly what was said. When I asked Danielle about this post, she said that she had said something about Hero and how she felt that Jay had basically left Hero to die. But obviously I can't attest to that that's what was in the post, but I know that people were quite angry about it. So after this was posted, of course, I panicked because she in the post, it made it seem like she was going to get this dog and she was going to bring it home right now. And I was like, oh my God, you're not ready for a dog. You're not ready for a dog. You don't have anything. So I freaked out. I went live on my Instagram and I invited Danielle to join, and a very interesting conversation took place. So basically what happened is Danielle started a live video to discuss the idea of her getting this dog. She allowed me to join and we discussed a couple things. Basically, this video that I'm showing to you right now is the live that I started after this whole thing with Danielle went down, this whole live video, which was a long live video. It was like a full hour. It was really rough for me to sit through, basically, because I'm a dog trainer. If you guys don't know, I train service dogs, I train therapy dogs, I train other working dogs, I train a lot of dogs. I work with a program, so I'm not a trainer by myself. I'm not like a head trainer or anything, but I am a pack leader. So I know at least a little bit about this. And I have trained Arlo mostly myself. So I know at least a little bit about training dogs for service work and about dogs in general. So the live that Danielle did was kind of frustrating for several reasons. And I'll go into those. But this video, I will let you know that this video is a live that I started afterwards. I do not have the original live video, Danielle's original live video saved anywhere. I don't think it is saved anywhere. First of all, I will make the comment that her older dogs were supposedly dog aggressive. So she has 2 older dogs, Gunner and Mist, and apparently they also have other dogs in the household. I don't know the status of those dogs, but apparently Gunner and Mist are dog aggressive. They do not like new dogs. They are also older dogs, so they, they're not going to be around for too much longer, but they are around right now. And bringing a puppy into a house with 2 older dogs that are apparently aggressive obviously is not the best case scenario for a dog that's supposed to be a service dog in the future. There's a lot of reasons with that. I'm sure you can think up your own in the comments, but I will just say that is a comment that I made that mostly fell on deaf ears. I did mention that with a puppy it was a problem, and basically Danielle had said that it didn't matter. They would work through it and stuff like that. So that didn't go the best way possible. I don't know why she said it this way, because in the past she had always been very like, yeah, we have 2 older dogs, so we can't get another dog because, they'll be aggressive towards it. But for some reason in this situation, her view had switched. So I found that interesting. At this point, Danielle's grandmother, she calls her Nanny, had come into the room. If you don't know who Nanny is, she is Danielle's legal guardian. So Danielle's parents gave up guardianship of Danielle to Danielle's grandmother. So what that means is I have spoken with her grandmother before, but this was one of the few first times that I had. So we were now speaking with Danielle's legal guardian, and, it was kind of shocking for people because they didn't know that, Danielle's legal guardian knows about all this, and they were just shocked to find out who she was. It's crazy now because, we talk a lot now, but at the time, I was not the biggest fan of her because of a few of the things that she said in the live video, which I will get to now. So, German Shepherds are a really difficult breed. I asked Danielle how she would train it, and she told me that her grandmother has trained German Shepherd dogs for service work before and has many breeder friends, so I didn't really understand why she didn't get a service dog earlier and why she complained about the money for a dog or training before, since her grandmother apparently is friends with all these breeders and has gotten dogs from these breeders before for, cheap or free, and her grandmother is a trainer, so, that seems to all fit together perfectly, but I guess for some reason, whatever. And that before her grandmother, German Shepherds were considered untrainable by the American Kennel Club. I can find no record of them ever reporting this anywhere. And her grandmother proved them wrong. So I can't find that anywhere. If you guys can find any record of a woman basically being the first one in the American Kennel Club who could control German Shepherds, let me know. To me, it didn't seem like a real story. She then brought the live to her grandmother and allowed me to speak with her. She interrupted me a lot and acted as if she knew a lot more about than me about the subject. Danielle acted that way too, repeating no offense, but I think my nanny knows what she's talking about a lot whenever I ask her questions. When I directly asked the question, have you trained German Shepherds for service work before? Her grandmother wouldn't answer me directly, instead saying she's trained them for agility and show and tricks. Then finally, after asking the 4th time, she said, well, how about this? Can you go hide 2 miles away and have your mother ask your dog to go find you? I responded, and then she said, well, yeah, that's basically what I did. I trained dogs to sniff out drugs. That's a service dog. When I told her that no, according to ADA law, only dogs trained to help disabled individuals are service dogs, and what she is referring to is a working dog, and they have different standards. Working dog meaning, obviously a drug-sniffing dog. She continued to ramble about her experience with the breed with me, even when I read her the laws out loud, and people commenting on the live video were saying that her grandmother was wrong, and that she wasn't listening to me at all, and they were discussing their own experiences with German Shepherds and service dogs and the importance of training with a professional. Danielle finally got very upset and said she was going to do whatever she wanted because she couldn't make anyone happy anyway. She then reported that she couldn't deal with the drama anymore and that she needed to focus on Ashlyn because her mother had just passed away that night, Ashlyn's mom.
The live video ended. I started my own live where members of the last one discussed what had happened. Danielle came on at one point and said that her grandmother is now mad at her and won't allow her to get a service dog. She was really upset at that point. So I wasn't entirely sure what to do after that because obviously it's a really touchy subject and it's a difficult thing to deal with. I didn't want to make her grandmother angry with me, but at the same time, she wasn't right. So I didn't know how to get that across. I was trying to be as respectful as possible. I really wish that I had the video, but yeah, it was just a really difficult situation. After talking with her grandmother more now, I know that she is a show trainer. So she showed German Shepherds. She showed a couple other breeds of dogs as well, but she did German Shepherds, and she trained them for several years. She had many of them. She had many German Shepherds. However, she has never trained them for any kind of work. So she's never trained them for service work, police work, fire, anything. So that is something that her grandmother is not experienced or skilled in. I'm sure that she would be able to train a German Shepherd or another dog very well. I'm sure that that dog would be obedient, just because of the experience she's told me that she has, if I'm to believe her. However, I don't think that by themselves, Danielle and Danielle's grandmother could, train a dog to become a service dog without any outside resources or anything. So that's just my personal opinion on the subject. And then there was the next run-in with Jay. I believe at the time Jay still went as NJ. I am not 100% sure, but even if he did, what happened wasn't okay on either side. So basically, Jay commented on one of Danielle's videos and said, "Do me a huge favor and stop copying my content and come up with your own. Please, your entire channel is just copying me and it makes me extremely uncomfortable." This is in reference to several things. So Danielle, the vest that she was using for Lakota was a Galaxy vest, which I guess is a type of vest that Jay uses. The patches that she had are the same color as Jay's, the teal and the pink or something. And I guess she had a poster that looked similar to Jay's poster in her room. She had rainbow lights up in her bedroom above her bed that was similar to Jay's room. I guess another thing that happened was they used similar music as well in their videos. And what else? See, I'm trying to think because there were several things. There were a lot of things that kind of made them really connected. And I do agree that a lot of it is, it coming from Jay and Danielle deciding that she wanted to use it. So it's really hard to, decipher that because I don't really know everything that Jay was thinking. But I do know that the trans thing was an issue too when Danielle came out as trans, which I'm using the name Danielle because, for several reasons. Number one, as far as I know, Danielle's family is not currently accepting of her identity. So, in the case that they see these videos, I want them to, since they have in the past, I want them to take this and instead of just focusing on, the fact that I'm using their, Danielle's preferred name and pronouns, they actually take into consideration the content of the video, which I don't think they'll do if I leave in her preferred name and pronouns. Secondly, the community knows her as Danielle. In later videos, I will be changing that. I'll start using preferred name and pronouns. I am not transphobic or anything. I fully accept it. But since it was switching back and forth, and this video and the last video both took me several months to complete, it wouldn't be easy to follow if I switched halfway through. So there's a lot of reasons for it. I'm sorry if it's confusing. But Danielle came out as trans around the same time that Jay came out as trans, so I guess people viewed that as copying as well. And then Danielle was talking about getting a black German Shepherd, which is apparently also Jay's dream dog. So there were just a lot of similarities that people couldn't really look past. And I kind of agree with them. I kind of think that there were a lot of similarities that were hard to look past. So I'm kind of, half and half on that situation about if they were entirely copying or what. Especially since at the time Danielle was going by the name Howls in Love, which I guess is similar to Paws in Love. So there's that as well. In retaliation to Jay's comment, Danielle made a comment back and said, "Tell you what, Jay, maybe I'll go ahead and stop using Lakota and be sad and depressed my whole life, okay? You and everyone else hates me and my wolf. Maybe it would be better off if I was gone, simply because you have made the whole service dog community think I'm a horrible person just because I wanted something different, just because I'm autistic. I wish I don't have psychiatric illnesses. I wish I wasn't autistic. I wish I don't have epileptic seizures. Sometimes I wish I wasn't born. I come to the service dog community thinking I found a home, a place where I belonged and where I would be happy, but honestly, all I've ever gotten has been hate and misery. I just wanted to be accepted in the community, but I'm hated. I'm a human being too." So obviously that was, kind of a really hard thing for a lot of people to read, because at least a few people I know felt for her. But in this situation, I think that she took it the wrong way, and the way that she was taking it was more as a personal attack. Although I think Jay could also have worded it better. There was just a lot of things that could have been done differently in this situation. So after both of those comments happened, Danielle took to her Instagram and was reaching out for help from other handlers and support. And for the most part, she got it. So for the most part, people were kind and, felt bad, and they took it upon themselves to do some more research on Jay, and they found some things that weren't so pleasant, I guess, on a couple different sites. So they determined that Jay wasn't, a good person anyway, and yada, yada, yada. So they held that against Jay in these videos and basically made these comments on Danielle's post. I'm not going to post them for protection of everyone involved. Some of them are really not very nice. I was able to get Danielle to take down those comments that were really bad. So if they weren't just positive messages and support, I had her take them down. Because while I don't agree with everything Jay has ever done, I do support him in his endeavor to, health. So I think that posting those here would just bring up bad things, and I would rather not do that. So this is the only comment that I'm going to show. At that point, Paws in Love did go to Instagram and commented on replied to a couple of the comments. Literally, their video titled "Dear Fake Service Dog Handlers" is word for word one of my deleted videos. How is that not copying? I agree. It is copying. I did tell her that it was an issue, and she changed it so that in the description of the video it says, it did say when it was up, that it was inspired by Paws in Love. So that was resolved. The other ones weren't word for word what Jay was doing, but I do agree there were still some elements that were a little bit, in the gray area of things if they were copying or not. So, yeah, I'm still unsure of how I feel about it. So, of course, Jay responded to some more comments, and I guess this is what he said was what was bothering him. You didn't understand what I previously wrote at all in the slightest. The entire video is my content. Her channel name is based off of mine. Her logo is based off of one of my old logos. The color scheme she uses is the same one I use. She came out as trans right after I did and then took it back. She wants a German Shepherd, which is my heart breed. All of these things singly aren't that bad, but when they're all the same, it starts to get creepy. She messaged me over and over, asking me to video call with me, asking to be my friend, asking all these things. I turned her down because I didn't know her. well enough to be friends, and because she makes me extremely uncomfortable with her obsessive behavior. But according to you, I'm not allowed to have my own emotions and my own individual thoughts. And then a lot of people defended her, saying she's clearly upset, but instead of apologizing, you tried and defended yourself. So obviously the whole thing was a really stressful situation. Both of them actually took to their Instagram stories almost right away to post more about it as well, which was, just making the situation worse at that point. Danielle posted this on her story. I want you all to know I used to look up to NJ, but sadly not anymore. Would you, after the way he has found out, not as a dog handler, but a person? So, the reason that people had issues with this post is because, first of all, Danielle dead-named Jay by calling him NJ, and also didn't use correct pronouns. Jay responded and said, if you intentionally dead-name and misgender someone because you're pissed that they're done with your shit, you are actually the worst type of person to exist. My video was copied word for word. I'm so done, I'm stressed, I'm upset, and people are acting like her fucking stalking me is okay. It's not okay. So obviously, there was a little bit of an obsession, and that's not okay. And most of the things that she did weren't okay. But I do believe that both sides are at fault here. They both could have been handled better, etc., etc. And then Danielle posted a video on her story.
Hey guys, I'm sorry about my bird in the background, but I'm here with Ashlyn, and this is a message to Jay and Aki and Hero. I'm sorry you think I stole your channel logo and colors and stuff, but when I first got Lakota her vest and her patches, I originally didn't think that the turquoise and the pink were your colors, so I had her patches made in turquoise and hot pink because I thought it would look nice on her. And the reason why I came out as trans, which I'm not.
Obviously, that video stopped at kind of an uncomfortable point. And then there was a story post about, it's Lakota's my service dog, and that's all that matters. So, basically, that was kind of the end of the situation. Danielle, I believe, both of them blocked each other, and then they didn't really speak after that. I don't think Danielle changed anything. I think she added that, the poem that she had, one of the videos that was copied, she added that it was inspired by Pause and Love, but I think that was the only thing that she did that actually changed anything. Not saying that that's bad or good, but just stating it as a fact. So, sorry to say this again, but that is the end of part 2. And the reason for that is because it's gotten to the point where, this has taken me as long as the first one has to create. So, I'm going to try to put this one out and then start the next one immediately. Hour-long videos make me uncomfortable. And I think that putting out a video that's a little bit shorter, like half an hour, which still doesn't feel short at all, when you're editing it doesn't feel short. But a video that's shorter, I think it's more for people, to break up the time, I guess, or, decide if you don't want to watch in case you, decide you don't like this kind of shit. So that's fine, too. I am really sorry that I can't just, make this all one huge 3-hour movie, but I don't have the space on my phone for that. So, thank you guys so much for watching. I know this has been such a crazy long series, and it's been really difficult for people to keep up with it, and there's just been a lot of new additions happening all the time. New stuff happens all the time, so I try and make videos and keep up with it. It's difficult. Luckily, right now, the only thing on my table is, regarding the Lakota thing. The only thing that's on the table is, this. So, this, video here, and then, obviously, the next one. So, again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm sorry about the quality of this video. I'm sorry about, I don't know, existing. And I will talk to you guys in whatever we make next. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.
Hold me close till I get up. Time is barely on our side.